And we saw a little bit of that in the Rumble too, but it was a really good match to kick things off. It was for just being a little piece of business.
Well, I mean, I think the real kickoff was the next match.
Yes, yes.
So the Rumble actually starts. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is
they were red hot.
What, 45 to 50 minutes away.
Right down.
And the crowd was pretty much hot right off the start because they got exactly what they wanted.
Exactly.
Daniel Bryan.
Unbelievable how over he was. To me, that was like Attitude Era overness. I haven't seen overness like that. Somebody be that over since the Attitude Era. It literally gave me goosebumps watching on TV. I imagine live how awesome.
And then we got to see, a rarity at this point. When they first came in, you saw the entrance all the time on Raw. Now they don't do the full entrance anymore on Raw. They save it for pay-per-views, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And the Wyatt family came out as a whole unit. With full entrance and everything, lantern and the whole deal,
great
the rocking chair. The crowd was completely into this match. I mean, I know a lot of people weren't really sure like how this was going to go, but right off the start, I think the crowd was into both characters, and they were just kind of going to sit back and enjoy this. And I mean, this match blew me away.
They did 25 to 30 minutes, and it was probably the best outing that I've seen Bray Wyatt in since that character took off, and Daniel Bryan just put on the clinic that he's known for. Everything was almost perfectly flawless.
I mean,
I enjoyed the match. It was by far the match of the night, and really
nothing really came close.
The only reason I think even worth it's going to be the most heavily edited WWE DVD ever. We'll get to why later, but like that'd be the only reason I'd even recommend to get the DVD or to order.
Yeah, I mean,
that match was incredible.
It was kind of like a shaky start because they kind of traded back and forth. It's like seems like every time the crowd was really behind Bryan, Wyatt would cut him off instead of the traditional start of Wyatt having to, the momentum of the match and having Daniel Bryan come back. Which is kind of like the classic outlay. They kind of went back and forth for a long time, but then finally Bray Wyatt kind of cut him off with like a shoulder breaker to the ring apron. And then from there on, it kind of seemed like Bray Wyatt had the momentum of the match.
He really controlled the heat pretty well, and I think there was a couple balloon spots there at the end where
there's a couple shaky parts.
Splash,
and there's a couple moves there that didn't look exactly crisp, but I mean,
it just showed why Bryan's so good.
That match from probably like a possible 5-star match to maybe like a 4.
Yeah, and that's how good the match was. It was an excellent match. Like that was a real treat to the crowd, and I think that was what they gave him as kind of like a makeup for what they didn't do later. I think here's your hero, and it
kind of makes me feel better. You thought it was a good match too, because I mean, I was kind of blown away by the match because I didn't think very much of it.
It was a very good match. Yeah.
So I mean, they passed my expectations. So I was a little afraid that maybe I liked it because my expectations were so low.
Well, what was probably the sickest move of the match was he went through the ropes and he caught him in the. What's the move called? Sister Abigail?
Oh, yeah. Daniel Bryan tried to do a dive to the outside. Bray Wyatt caught him. It did the Sister Abigail to the wall.
To the wall, and it was just sick. And they worked in the concussion.
They had been building up the concussion throughout the match during the Bray Wyatt heat. And then basically he hit another Sister Abigail in the ring, and that was 1, 2, 3, Bray Wyatt over.
So what it was he playing the role of like the second biggest face, even though he's really the first biggest face, to set up for Bray Wyatt to work with Cena, which we get into that later too, but that's basically was the classic setup, which, like I said, it's all kind of working in reverse because of how overly Bryan is.
Basically, Ryan,
we have to kind of shield our eyes to that.
Yeah, they're using Daniel to try to get a guy that they want over a little bit
It's
more.
exactly what they did, and they did it very well. They pulled it off. They did it exactly what they needed, and the crowd was totally
Bray showed that if you put him in a big spot, he's not going to horrendously choke.
He came into his own tonight. He
we got the panel. Hacksaw Jim
I love that panel.
HBK,
that panel was awesome.
And Justin Roberts. It was an interesting panel.
Absolutely.
They showed people how to
And Hacksaw Jim Duggan looked like he was having a good time, and Michaels and Flair were having a good time.
Liked
that's what the panels need to be like that.
Hacksaw was a little bit like a really good kind of breaking it down.
Well, he was kind of like
spots.
If that was if they make another Legends House, they'd have those 3 guys together. That was great.
They were interesting.
They really looked like they were having fun.
I think Flair was kind of phoning in a little bit, but I mean,
he's
HBK, I think, tries to put a little thought
shizzle
into like what he's saying
and
how he's doing it. And I think he's true. The only problem is that it's also corporate, which he still put a shine on Daniel Bryan, though, despite all that.
Yeah, he did. He really
Which
did.
I'll give him credit for. So then the next up...
He was kind of there to stand up for the crowd, kind of.
Yeah. Next up is Big Show versus Brock Lesnar. I mean, I wasn't really interested in this match. I didn't see how they could really do anything interesting. And basically, the match didn't even start, JB. I mean,
yeah.
It was just right off the bat. Brock Lesnar went at him before the ref rang the bell with a chair and just proceeded to give him, like, I don't know, like 80 chair shots.
It was, I lost count how many, and some of them were, he laid a few in, and then some of them obviously he wasn't laying in, which obviously, I don't blame anybody who's going to take 80 chair shots if you,
I mean, I lost
don't
count.
lay everyone
After 20,
in.
I lost count.
But
so.
it was, the coolest part, the only cool part was the Heyman was sitting there waiting with a second chair. I thought that was great, but it was just, the whole design of it was these two are going to have a real fight. That was, that was pretty clear, but I don't even know what the point of any of it was. Like, Big Show is so boring to me. And
Brock hit him with the chair.
We know Brock Lesnar's an animal.
Numerous times, and eventually, when he thought he was going to get the match started, underway, and just get the easy victory, Big Show came out with the big punch.
That
almost knocked Brock Lesnar out,
yeah.
But Brock Lesnar kind of was like woozy more than
I heard
out.
that live. That really looked stiff. Like he really connected. And you could tell.
Well, we saw it on TV. It actually hit, or
Yeah.
at least it looked real.
Yeah, they were getting pretty close to a real fight.
Yeah,
that was cool. I like that aspect.
I did notice that Brock was kind of puffy around the eye.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, hard to say though when
he was sweating like
and
a beast.
they kind
like
of
2 minutes in.
traded. They kind of traded back and forth, and then basically Brock did what he should have done. Hit the F5. That was pretty much over.
Yeah. No, but he almost didn't have him in the F5.
Oh yeah, he almost dropped him
He
straight
out. Wobbly
out.
legs, but yeah. So I mean, it was cool. Like if it's for the intensity, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a Mid-South big man's match.
But it was
anything.
short,
Just,
which is what everybody was hoping it would be.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Yeah, they got it across, but I mean, like we know Lesnar's
why
the
the attack afterward, how that's supposed to build up Lesnar as unstoppable.
Well, like
I mean,
I was
he's using a chair. It's not like he's a badass.
Like I was saying, RB, they'll have Big Show will be in a 6-man tag match tomorrow night on Raw. Like nothing ever happened. Just come out and it's just they don't. Big Show's just constantly floating through whatever, and then. I guess they're building Brock to look really strong with Undertaker at WrestleMania. But,
yeah, that's what the rumor is.
That's probably what.
But the weird thing, the biggest problem I had is, okay, you're doing all that to put Brock over, then how come Big Show's not selling? Big Show was never immobile during the whole attack. It seemed like he was really phoning in, like you observed. And
maybe it wasn't
he just never stopped moving throughout the attack. And
they walked
it was like
at
least 30 chair shots.
God,
and he walked out under his own power.
Yeah,
to me, that's a no-no. I mean,
second match of the night, we got this. Like,
he basically got hit by 2 cars, and he still.
Yeah, it was just. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. I was glad that it was over fast.
Well then, we're already at the WWE Heavyweight Championship.
Please don't make me relive this, RB.
I'm sorry, it's part of the review. Orton versus Cena, the match that nobody wanted. Prior to this, it was actually we had the shitty beat down by Brock, followed by Shield promo, which was actually pretty good. They let Ambrose talk most of the time. Followed by an Orton promo.
And almost fell asleep.
Awful promo. Basically said I'm the best, and something about Bray Wyatt like twice. And that's just pretty much all I got out of his promo.
His face was on TV just to remind us that he's coming.
Yeah. And it went right to the match.
Still frame of him, we'd have been all right.
Yeah, he went right to the match right after the Orton promo. So Orton comes out. No reaction.
Absolutely
whatsoever.
no reaction. Yeah.
Cena came out.
It's typical same Cena thing in the crowd. Like I guess that Cena was more over than Orton. The crowd was at least behind
reacting.
Cena. Like they were just the crowd the whole time was just having fun with chants, and it was just nobody wanted to see this match again.
Right off the start, the crowd was just determined to try to ruin it.
Didn't even feel like a WWE title match.
They started pretty much right off the bat. Cena was getting in a couple licks, and Orton cut him off right from the start, and they went traditional. Orton worked, they did Cena over for about, 10, 15 minutes. And here or there, Cena would get like a, false comeback, and Orton would cut him off. And that was pretty much what they were going to go home with. And the crowd decided that even though it wasn't that bad of a match,
It wasn't really
I
their
understand the
fault,
psychology. They didn't do anything wrong, but the crowd just was not.
It's not what they wanted.
This match.
They booked a money match, not what the fans wanted to see, and then nobody wanted to see it at all.
And these two guys tried, and after a while, it's like they gave up, and they started pulling into the bag of goodies. Started pulling out all kind of stuff, determined to try to turn this crowd around. They started doing, the reverse finishes.
The mimic finishes.
Orton did the AA. Cena kicked out. Cena did the RKO. Orton kicked out. And at that point, the crowd actually started reacting again. The crowd started getting into it, which, kind of was expected. No matter how smart you are, you're still a mark.
Yeah,
so
it was.
You're still going to react.
They gave him a few moments to pop. Obviously they treated it like professionals, but it was just. It's not their. It really wasn't their fault. It's just the booking was nobody wanted to see it again, and it's not fresh, and it's like The Rock and Austin in the Attitude Era. Only 20,000 times were watered down with none of the intensity of that. So it's
almost
just
like a half a dozen 2 counts to get the finishes to get the crowd.
The biggest reaction of the match was when the lights went out and the Wyatts came out. The Wyatt family came out.
And everybody was kind of confused. Cena was kind of looking around, and that was it. He turned around into an RKO.
Orton left through the crowd, and the Wyatts came in, and Bray attacked. They actually did a pretty vicious attack of Cena and Brody Lee. Luke Harper did a pretty good running clothesline. And then they did. Wyatt hit Sister Abigail with the proclamation. I think he was like, "This is the beginning of him ruling the world." So they built
right into the Mania rumor. And
they built it very nicely. That's a breath of fresh air. I like that. That's gonna be. I hope they don't ruin that because that's something new and fresh for Cena to do. It's not the world title, and
I just worry
Bray Wyatt
that even though there's 3 of them because they'll put Cena in the Superman position, W tends to overdo it, and he's going to squash all 3 of them and kill their heat.
Well, it's funny to think. I know that probably.
If he beat Nexus, which was like 6 guys. 3 guys isn't really.
It would have been great if they would do. They were trying to clear Hogan for WrestleMania 30 to tag with Cena, but from what I heard, he didn't get cleared. But that would be great if they had Cena and Hogan against the Wyatts. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Nah, I don't think he's going to get.
No.
I'm not surprised he didn't get through. Well, Renee, what was her last name?
Renee Young.
I did like a little promo with the Outlaws, which
now
they did
the
old school intro. Tag team champions of the world, the whole bit. We were both reciting it. We were verbatim.
We were very much into that. Everybody, the fans loved the Outlaws.
It shows, I think, if you're gonna be road agents, and you'd be like, listen, you don't understand how easy this is, and you're trying to teach people how to be over. They went out there wrestling an match, but then they went and just lit it up on promos.
Yeah, they really did.
And they showed basically hey, this is how you do it,
Yeah.
And I thought it was.
They were still comfortable,
and it was a chance to kind of review.
They still look good
end
too.
Of the match.
I think they look pretty good
for the people who bought just a pay-per-view and then watched the pre-match.
Yeah, they wrapped that up real nice.
And I thought that the main reason they showed the finish again was to remind us all about the Rhodes brothers.
Yeah.
So. Surprisingly, that was it for the matches.
It was really cool to see the New Age Outlaws with those new tag team titles. That was kind of bizarre, but also cool to see in 2014.
They go to the panel. They're talking about the Rumble.
Flair's wooing all over the place.
Flair again says he's going Batista.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan picked Ziggler.
Probably going into business himself.
Why was Duggan all for Ziggler? What was
he just
that
wanted to look like he
strange piece of business.
What he was talking about. And Hacksaw did pick Ziggler.
It was all about Ziggler.
Well, Ziggler is legit. He was a wrestling kind of guy. So maybe Hacksaw respected him for that.
Possibly. Just to pick somebody that the fans would get on his side.
And then HBK picked the Shield.
Because all 3 can win.
He picked Punk and the Shield. I think he just didn't care. He was just looking for something to say.
He just got his check. He was ready to go.
Yeah, so
party
of course
Nash.
CM Punk comes out first, followed by Seth Rollins. We were expecting.
I thought it was gonna be awesome.
We were expecting a mini match.
Like what they did. Yeah, in 2011 they had Bryan and Punk start, and that was kind of what I was expecting something like that to happen in 2014. Yeah. No, it was just.
It was kicks, punches, nothing really special.
Yeah, Jason chopped wood a little bit, and that was about it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, but then Damien Sandow, Cody Rhodes, all came out and. Nothing was really happening.
Sandow went out really fast.
Well, Sandow was eliminated pretty early on. But I mean, it was basically Punk, Rollins, and Rhodes in there for a while, and like me and you were just kind of like, there's only 3 people in the ring, and they're not really doing anything special. And I think that was the whole feeling through most of the Rumble tonight.
It was just,
we were expecting kind of the new era of, spots and, people doing their finishers and, kind of doing that big schmoz kind of thing. And what they did instead was like old-fashioned 1980s.
Yeah, now it's time for old school.
Punches and kicks and eliminations. And that was basically a majority of this Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I would say probably the most underwhelming Royal Rumble
Absolutely underwhelming.
I've ever seen. Since they started doing the new.
And the past couple
stuff.
years have been pretty hot, and this one was just really sucked the life out of the
we
crowd.
will recap the whole thing. Sandow was the first man ever eliminated in this year's Royal Rumble, the 2014 Royal Rumble. Kane came out next as a surprise.
Just wearing his corporate
took
pants.
off the shirt and tie.
What are they doing with him? I just don't.
Dude looked like a house monster.
He looked like he's in phenomenal shape, but
basically he came out because Punk hadn't been eliminated yet. Is I guess what the story is supposed to be, and Punk eliminated him pretty quickly.
Easily, yeah.
So that was the second elimination, and then
that was, I guess, our first surprise entrant.
Yeah, then we got another surprise back-to-back, Alexander Rusev.
Yeah, Rusev, I believe.
Yeah, Rusev.
And this is where we took a lot of issue, too.
A guy from NXT.
If you're going to get an NXT out there and it's Pittsburgh, why wasn't it Corey Graves, who's from Pittsburgh? I mean, exactly. Like, why, if you're going to have, again, it was just like, who threw these darts at the board and said this is what we're going to do? And then he came out and it was just like, he looked out of his element. I mean,
yeah, he looked uncomfortable.
He looks like he could be something impressive, but
he looked like the big spotlight kind of ate him up.
I'm not very familiar with him, though.
I mean, I don't watch NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, I got enough going on in my life.
I don't even really remember hearing too much buzz about him, but I mean, I could be wrong. I could go back and study this guy a little bit.
Basically, he kind of came in and was just...
There he was.
I mean, he doesn't wear boots.
Did he eliminate anybody? I don't think he eliminated anybody.
He doesn't have any shoes. He just wears ankle tape, and that's it.
He looked a little bit like...
I guess he was trying to go for kind of like a Samoan kind of a MAGA thing with like really brutal offense, but none of it ever looked really all that
great. Nothing connected.
Nothing.
Nobody got behind him or booted him or anything.
And he was just kind of blah.
He was just there.
Swagger came out. Kofi came out.
Swagger had a huge reaction from the crowd. We the people chants.
We the people chants, yeah. Swagger came out. That was kind of interesting. I was kind of surprised that the crowd gave a crap about Swagger. Let's see here. Where are my notes? Swagger.
Zeb Coulter did not enter, but
yeah, Swagger versus Rusev was kind of like the spot, like where the two big men in the Rumble kind of traded back and forth. Kofi came out, Uso came out,
Kingston came out.
This is like where again
it was
there
really
was more people
first,
and it was just like punches, kicks, nothing
it was
really
just, and it seemed like it kept trying to, like it was setting up to something, but we didn't see it really.
I think Punk and Rollins couldn't really do much because they knew they were going to be in the match the whole time. Yeah. And Goldust was out. He came in with a little bit of fire. He took pretty much everybody down the ring. And then Rusev got eliminated. Kofi got eliminated.
Well, Kofi had a couple of near eliminations though. Kofi had a really
Rusev got eliminated, and then Kofi got thrown out, but Rusev caught him and kind of like
beat him down on the
and set him
guardrail.
On the guardrail, and they kind of did.
Probably not. I mean, nothing's going to be as impressive as I believe it was 2000. Was it 2012, 2011, or 2012 where he did the handstand and got back in the ring?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was where they were kind of trying to go with it again, I think, and then last year he did where he was on the chair and he came back in.
Well,
this was really impressive.
He walked the guardrail, jumped from the guardrail to the ring,
unbelievable athleticism,
apron, and actually saved himself in elimination.
There was a Jesus freaking Wiz RB happened.
I was like, wow,
that was incredible.
I didn't think he was going to make it.
Yeah, I thought we were like, it's his job if he doesn't make it, but he made it, and he definitely was a highlight.
Dean Ambrose was your next entrance. Ziggler came in. Decent pop for Ziggler.
Yes, good pop for Ziggler.
There was even like a Let's Go Ziggler chant, which I was kind of surprised. R-Truth came out and
hardly remember that he was here.
And just as I was saying, man, that's a lot of guys in one ring. Shield, Ambrose and Rollins kind of eliminated R-Truth and Uso back to back, which kind of cleared the ring a little bit. And then we have Nash came out.
That was a surprise. Well, it wasn't too much of a surprise because he was in Pittsburgh for the party, the after party or whatever it was. And then the rumors were that Waltman was going to be there for some reason, but we got Nash instead. And Nash came out. That was cool. I love Nash.
Shape.
Yeah,
The hair color.
Yeah, he came. He was really the guy. Keeps himself in great upper body shape for his
And he tossed out Swagger.
And he tossed out Swagger. That's right. Yeah, he came